This is Jaden's Videos, and today I am going to be discussing the Spirit Halloween 2024 animatronic lineup. So yes, Spirit Halloween has officially revealed their animatronic lineup for 2024. I'm a little bit late on this by a few days, but better late than never. Still wanted to get my thoughts out on these and talk about them and, things that I'm interested in purchasing and just get my general thoughts out because that's what I do. And this is big news, of course, because it is the entire lineup. Well, give or take a few things because there's a few things that were shown. They posted a teaser, and that is where we first initially saw this. And there's a few things that were shown that we haven't seen fully yet. They were just kind of shown in the teaser. I'm not going to talk about them yet just because I don't want to talk about the stuff that hasn't been fully shown yet because I don't want to give my full thoughts on it yet. There's a pumpkin girl with like pumpkin carved into her face, and she looks very 1950s. I love that. And I'm actually drawn towards it this year in particular. You'll find out soon. June 30th is when the Fearville announcements are going to drop, so stay tuned for that. And there's also a Mr. Dark Witch. So that's really cool as well. But we're going to talk about the things that have actually been fully shown. Not all of these things have videos yet, but they all have pictures, and we've seen them and we know what they are. There are a few that don't have videos yet, but we're going to go down the site in the order that it is on the site, and we're going to start with the licensed things under the world famous entertainers. First things first, we have Ghostface. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not crazy about this. I was really hoping for better. Obviously, we already knew these names and we knew it was coming, but we hadn't seen these things yet. I'm not crazy about this. I'm fairly disappointed because Ghostface, Scream is one of my favorite horror movies, let me say. Ghostface is one of my favorite horror icons. I own the 2011 Jemmy one. He's all sorts of messed up though, and I want a new one. But this is not it. And it makes me kind of sad to say that. People love this Ghostface. Like, everyone's raving about it. I don't like it. I mean, I think it's okay. And in person, I think that could change just because I don't like how it looks here. And that how things look on their pictures and videos can always change in person, and it usually does. But he just looks like a stick figure. Like, his proportions are so off. The robe looks terrible. I don't know. It looks like something that you can make out of PVC. I will say, though, the animation is cool, the head tilting and the stabbing, that's really awesome. And he's got actual audio from the film, from the 6th one. I kind of wish it was from the first one. I wish we'd get a Ghostface from the first Scream. We've never gotten that. However, I don't know, appearance-wise, I'm not digging it. It just doesn't look great, in my opinion. But we're going to move on, because there's a lot to cover. We're going to move on to the Corpse Bride animatronics. First off, we have Emily. This is what I'm going to purchase because I love Corpse Bride, and this is an awesome, awesome animatronic. $300, honestly not that bad considering licensed prices and considering everything she does. She's got a servo head, and her eyes blink, and her body moves, and she looks so screen accurate. It is awesome. Like, this is an S tier animatronic. This animatronic is perfection all the way around. It's everything you could want of an animatronic of Emily. I think it's great. This is what I'm looking for in licensed animatronics. Something that looks this screen accurate. It is perfect. A perfect display piece for sure of fans of that film. And the next one, which pairs with it, and actually they have a cable, like an auxiliary cord or whatever it is, I think, that they can talk to each other. Their lines don't really fit. Like, they're from different parts of the movie, so it's kind of weird. But regardless, it's cool. The Victor, again, looks phenomenal. Like, he looks great. He's got amazing animation, servo head, blinking eyes, moving torso, and he looks so great. Like, they did a bang-up job on these two. They look so screen accurate, it's honestly insane. Victor looks phenomenal. I don't know if I'm going to get Victor. I'm leaning towards not because I just don't need two of them. Like, if I want a display thing from Corpse Bride, what I'm going to want is Emily. And though Victor's cool too, that's just another $300. That's $600 for 2 of them. I don't think that's worth it. I'll probably just stick to Emily because I'm not going to be using these as animatronics anyways, because these aren't going to go in a haunt of mine or anything. These are simply for room display purposes because they're just something I'd like to have and display because they're cool. So yeah, probably only Emily. Next one is Art the Clown. We've already talked about him, so I'm not going to discuss it. But the one after that is Michael Myers. I don't know why they can't get these classic horror characters right. Like, they're doing all these new ideas perfectly. Like, I'm going to say Party City's Leatherface last year, top notch. One of my favorite licensed animatronics ever. The Party City Leatherface. Spirit's Leatherface, not that great. And it looks like they're continuing that this year with less than great licensed classic characters. I don't know why. Because they're doing the whole new ideas perfectly fine. Like the Emily and Victor, phenomenal. The Killer Clowns, other than Slim, Shorty was really good. I mean, we've had some really great licensed animatronics. Beetlejuice, all of that, all fantastic. But for some reason, they can't get these core ones right at Spirit. I don't know why. Ghostface and now Michael. I will say this is the best Michael we've seen since 2010. So that's saying something. It's the best Michael we've seen in 14 years. However, he's still not great, and it's unfortunate. He looks fine. Like, there's not really any issues with the looks. He's got the bullet holes. He's got the blood tears coming from his mask. Pretty awesome. But the audio. I don't know what the deal is. They can't get the Halloween audio anymore. I know it's probably costs extra licensing rights, but if you're paying for the licensing rights for the animatronic in the first place, get that iconic theme. I mean, that's just really disappointing to me, that they just can't get the iconic audio for such an iconic character with such an iconic theme. He's okay. I actually like him more than Ghostface, but still, he's not perfect, and it's unfortunate that we still cannot perfect these classic characters from Spirit. I don't know. The other companies, like Party City, is doing licensed things fine when it comes to classic characters. Their Leatherface was phenomenal. For some reason, from Spirit, we're just stuck in a phase of not being able to get them right, and it's kind of unfortunate. But we're going to move on to the main attractions. So these are the circus-themed animatronics, and there's quite a few great ones. Again, I'm so upset they decided to drop all of these this year, the year after I do my circus-themed haunt. It's unfortunate, but I may be getting one of these because I have a. You'll find out on June 30th. You'll find out. But there's something gonna happen at Fearville this year where one of these or 2 of these can be applicable. It's not the haunt, Scare Zone. It's the Scare Zone, but you'll find out. The main attractions. First off, we have the Ringmaster. No video on him yet, but from his pictures and stuff, he has like a glowing chest of souls and he leans his head back. He's cool. I really like him. I wish he was more grounded and not like supernatural. I wish he was just a regular creepy Ringmaster, but he looks great. He's a very big guy and he looks awesome. Love the look of this guy. It is such a classic Ringmaster appearance. I absolutely love that. Not what I'm going to get, but I really do like it and I really appreciate it. Nibbles the Clown. This is one that we did not think much of, but I'm here to say this is next level, and this is going to be a game changer in the Halloween industry if this works. He has motion tracking technology, so he sees you and his head follows you where you walk. That is awesome. That is so cool and so creepy, and I am so looking forward to seeing where they take that technology and what other characters they incorporate it with. Because much like Grimm with the servo, he was the first servo animatronic, we've seen much more impressive ones since then. And so I'm very curious where this technology is going to go. But for what that is awesome. And he's also a really cool looking clown. He's kind of generic, but at least he's a jester, so it's something a little bit different. But that technology is incredible. I am curious how well it's going to work, because when you have multiple people, like even in the Spirit store, but also like at a haunt, when you have multiple patrons walking through or whatever, or in a line or wherever this guy is, I'm wondering how that's going to work and how it's going to lock on to one person and what exactly it's going to do with that. I guess time will tell. We'll have to see, but I'm very curious to see how that goes. The next one, this is the one that I would most likely purchase if I get any of these, because I just love this thing so much. Bobby Strings. Now, I had thought this was going to be a marionette, but I did not think it was going to be a 7-foot tall marionette. That is huge, and that is terrifying. Not only that, it looks terrifying. This thing is so creepy, and it's not something that can only apply to circus themes. I mean, you could use it in other stuff for sure, and so I feel like that's another reason I'm more open to this, because I know I can probably get quite a few uses out of this in future years. Even though I've already done my circus haunt, I feel like I could definitely use this guy at some point within the upcoming seasons. This season in particular, I do have a plan that this guy could work in, and it has to do with the scare zone at Fearville, not the haunt. And so, this is one that I'm very interested in getting. No video yet, but wow, he's cool. Like, this is definitely one of my favorites of the season. This guy is awesome. The next one I'm not so crazy about, it's Barnaby the Bear. A circus bear sounds really cool, and the idea is pretty cool. I mean, he's bouncing on a ball. I think I mentioned this. I thought he might have something like Monty, where he's standing on something, and that is accurate. It's a cool concept, but he just looks kind of stupid. And usually with a circus bear, it's not standing on its hind legs like a person. Usually a circus bear's a regular bear that's like, I don't know, doing some kind of act. They're not standing on their hind legs, balancing like a human. At least to my knowledge. So, and he just looks kind of weird. Like, I feel like this could have been executed a lot differently. Great idea, great concept, but I feel like it could have been executed a lot better. Not crazy about it. Another one that I like, but I'm not as crazy about as everyone else, is Cotton Candy Dan. I really like it, and I really like the face sculpt. I think it looks awesome, and I really like the concept, and I like the head that pops out of the cotton candy. I think that's really cool. Just kind of basic to me. I mean, it's a cool gimmick, it's a cool idea, but he is just a kind of a basic looking clown. He doesn't really stand out that much in my opinion. Had this been last year that this guy came out, I probably would have purchased him for the haunt, because I do like him and I like his jump scare. But as it stands, he's not one I'd ever be interested in buying. He's cool, not my favorite thing ever, but I do like him. But I definitely not as much as everyone else does. Last category, actually there is Blast from the Past too, but I'm not really even going to show those, I'm just going to discuss them. But the last true category is Oddities and Curiosities, and basically this is just everything that's not circus oriented and not licensed, just your regular assortment of different Halloween characters they've made this year. And I'm not going to lie, there's not a lot of great ones, but there are some that are stellar. We're going to start with a very mid-tier one that's like, it's okay, but it's not fantastic. It's Gravestone Ghoul. It's just a zombie behind a tombstone that thrashes. It's not horrible, and had this been released maybe 5 years ago, this would have been pretty cool, but considering how many unique things we get now, this is kind of just run-of-the-mill, basic, generic thing, but it has its place. Like, there's a lot of animatronics that aren't the coolest thing ever, but definitely can be very useful in a haunt. And I think that this one definitely could be, especially in a yard display or a cemetery or anything like that. Of course, this could be very useful for that. So it's nothing bad by any means. I think it's warranted. I think it's something that's, it doesn't hurt to have it in the lineup. It's just not something super incredible. But it is also fairly cheap at $180, so I can't complain too much. This next one, though, I absolutely despise, and almost everyone except for a few people despise this thing. Night Terror is complete garbage. Like, this is on the level of Johnny Punk level of trash. To be fair, this is only $100. That is very cheap, because it is a 6-foot animatronic. It is very cheap. So, yes, it's a good animatronic if you don't want to dish out a bunch of money, but, like, it sucks. The audio is horrible. The animation is so stupid. Like, this thing just isn't good. And here's the thing, if this was at Big Lots, I am throwing shade to you, Big Lots, sorry. If this was at Big Lots or CVS or any of those retailers that have absolutely terrible Halloween animatronics, then I could understand this existing. But why is this at Spirit Halloween? Like, Spirit Halloween has been the definitive Halloween store for decades, and they have delivered some of the most innovative, cool stuff, and especially among a lineup this year with so many innovative things. Why is this at Spirit? Like, this this doesn't fit. This does not feel like something you'd see at Spirit. This looks like something I'd walk into CVS in 2013 and see. Like, this is not... We can do better than this, Spirit. Because the thing that sucks with it is, yes, I know it's a cheaper animatronic, which is great. It's taking up the space that we could have had something a lot cooler. And that's what sucks about it. Like, this does not need to exist. At Spirit, at least. They can do better. Even if they want to make a cheaper animatronic, at least make it cool. Like, this is so lame. I'm sorry. I'm ranting about it, but it just sucks. And there's another one I'm going to get onto later that sucks as well. But we have my favorite animatronic of the season thus far first, which is a great thing. Wanda Webworth. This thing is so incredibly awesome. It's a spider, insectoid, anthropomorphic thing. Oh my gosh, this thing's cool. It doesn't even fully look like a spider, but I like that because it can be used as like any type of giant bug. We don't get enough giant bugs. This might be the only giant bug we've gotten that's like an insectoid type of creature. And I love this thing so much. This thing is incredible. It's so creepy, unnerving. Imagine being in a haunt and seeing this in a dimly lit hallway or room. It's awesome. I want this thing so bad. I don't know what I'm going to do with it this year. I probably won't use it this year if I get it. But I want to get it because it's one of those things that I know once it becomes impossible to get, I'm going to regret not having gotten it. And it's one of those things that I definitely will find a way to incorporate in a haunt in the coming years. So this it's just one of those things that even though I don't have a use for it this year, I need to get this thing because it is so awesome and I don't want to miss out. Like, this is one of the most unique and cool animatronics in the past few years. I love this thing. This thing is so cool. Next one's one that I don't love, the Cremator. I don't know why this is $200. It's a static with a really lame flame effect. It's okay if it was $100. $200, I don't know why. Like, this is a static. Night Terror is only $100. I don't know why this guy's $200 and he doesn't even do anything. I don't know. It's very weird, but it's a cool idea. He's like a shrouded cremation guy. First things first, he should be holding an ash urn that spits out smoke or something. I don't know why he's holding a skull. That's cheesy, generic. This feels, again, like another Big Lots type of thing. And the flame effect to me is just so lame. It looks like a fire and ice light in there. It's just, in the voice, why does it have to talk? Like, why does everything have to talk? No, it's not horrible because it's got a cool idea and it looks kind of cool. But for what it is, no, I don't care. Moving on. Next one I do care about, which is one that I'm possibly going to get. I'm still contemplating because I'm a little disappointed by it. Max Straw. I was excited to hear this because I love Scarecrows, and especially this year, they do have a place in my haunt, which you'll find out in a few days, as I keep saying. They definitely do have a place in my haunt, especially one like this that looks very classic Scarecrow, Halloween, farm, fall vibe. But I'm a little disappointed because all it does is turn its head and laugh, but it looks cool, and that's the thing with it. It looks cool. Another thing I don't like the floating. Like, I don't know why it's floating. I don't know why this is like a part Scarecrow, part Ghost. I want a Scarecrow that's up on a cross that just sits there. I know we kind of got that with Night Stalker or whatever his name was, but I hate him because he's annoying, and he wasn't cool, he wasn't creepy. If this guy was up on a cross, immediate favorite of the year. But as it is, I like him a lot. I do. But I'm a little disappointed. But he is only $180 and he's 8 feet tall. Now, the Scarecrow himself isn't that tall. Actually, he's not 8 feet, is he? Oh, he is 8 feet. Okay. Scarecrow himself is not that tall. It's just to the top of his pitchfork. But he's really cool looking. His face sculpt is very awesome. One of the coolest looking Scarecrows we've seen, which is why I'm definitely leaning towards purchasing him. Especially because he's got a pretty cheap price tag too. But we'll see what happens with that. I do like him, just not my favorite thing ever, and I wish he was a little bit cooler. I wish he did something more unique. This next one is one that a lot of people are sleeping on, and I actually quite like it. It's the Dark Princess. I didn't expect this one to be as cool as it is. It's not great, but I do like it for what it is. I infamously loved Dagger Mike last year, and a lot of people hated him because I really liked the old-timey clown aesthetic, and I was also more biased towards it last year because I had a perfect use for it in my haunt. But I still, even after I've done my circus theme and I don't really have a use for Dagger Mike anymore, I still like the animatronic. It's probably one I'm going to wind up selling because I just don't have a use for it anymore. But I still like it and I appreciate it for what it is. I think it's a great jump scare. This Dark Princess is basically Dagger Mike reskin. I like that jump scare. I think it's a good one. It definitely scares a lot of people. And I saw it scare a lot of people. So I think that this jump scare mechanism is great. And the Dark Princess is really cool because it's really unique. It's something I could definitely see myself purchasing down the road. Probably not this year because it's not something I need. But I could see myself buying this and using it in a haunt. It's got a good jump scare, and it's very unique looking. I like the wings, and I really like that face. It looks like some sort of weird cryptid creature type of thing. It's very strange. I honestly see this animatronic as sort of a fairy more than a princess. Like, this feels like a fairy, like a dark Celtic fairy, and I think that's really cool. Next animatronic is one that's not really cool, and I don't like it at all. Like, it's literally terrible in my opinion. I don't like it. It's $200 and it's 3 feet tall. First off, that's a huge problem. Second, it is the most generic piece of garbage I've ever seen. Another Big Lots thing. Like, what is this? Demonic Gatekeeper. It is a Reaper. I love Reapers. Not this type of Reaper. This is so cheesy, generic, and cartoony. I don't like it. His fog effect is kind of cool, but, like, this is not a Demonic Gatekeeper. When I heard that name, I wanted to see, like, a demon. You guys know I love demon animatronics. I don't like this. Like, he rises up slow. This looks like something we would have gotten like 10 years ago. And it still wouldn't have been that amazing. This is just... If it was cheap, I would give it more of a leeway. Because it's not as bad as Night Terror. So if it was cheap, I would understand it a little bit more. But like, $200 for this? I don't like this thing. It's not good. I'm sorry. I don't like it. But we are going to end on a very positive note with Giant Death Ray. This thing I do like. $350 honestly isn't a bad price either. It's 10 feet tall. It's an alien. We got an alien. That's what I thought was going to happen. It's what happened. It's a gray alien too. It's a 10-foot tall, gigantic gray alien, but it's a gray alien. And it's awesome. Who doesn't love a good alien? This thing is so cool. It's got a servo head too. It's got some awesome lighting effects on the body. I love this thing. I think it's great. It's not something I'm going to get just because I do not have any plans to do any alien stuff, even in the near future. I mean, someday I might, but as of now, I don't have any plans for that. So it's not something I'm going to buy, but dang, it is awesome, and I really, really like it, and I'm really happy that we got it. Like, this, it's a great animatronic. Now, the only two other things, actually 3 things to mention, are that Cerberus, Twitching Banshee, Tower, and Creepy Clown are confirmed returning, but we already knew that. I don't need to talk about them because we already know what they look like. So, that was it, the Spirit Halloween 2024 lineup, minus 2 things that we know of, which is the Pumpkin Girl, which is the one I'm most excited to see, and the Mr. Dark Witch, which I'm also very excited to see, because who doesn't love a good Mr. Dark mechanism? And a lot of people have been sleeping on that just because it's another Mr. Dark, but I mean, we can never have enough of those. Like, it's a great mechanism, it's a great idea for an animatronic, and I hope they keep pumping out one a year, because then you'll have a wide array to choose from for different themes, and I think that's a great thing. So I'm glad that we got another one, and a witch is super cool. She should have been on a broom, though. She should have been on a broom and flown up on a broom. That would have been awesome. But regardless, there's the Spirit Halloween 2024 lineup. Still have to see videos of some of these. That's going to change opinions, but as of now, looking like a great year for Spirit and all of the retailers. Like I said, stay tuned for June 30th, Monday. That is when the Fearville 2024 announcements will go up. And then I'll be able to more openly talk about what I'm purchasing and what I'm using and all of this stuff as we get into the Halloween season, and only about 3 or so months now. Super exciting. Hope you all enjoyed. Remember that here lies Halloween.